please.
Okay. So hi. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. I was just checking to make sure you're in your room and that you're set up. Um,
Yeah.
all right, good. So I think there's like one other person that's here that's in this session that can see. But you look good. You look fine. Everything is clear. I'm hearing you clearly.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. So you look good. So all is well.
Thank you.
So I'm just waiting because I think more people are starting to come in slowly into your session because there's like a total of 5 people. So it's just a matter of time before you jumpstart. I'm gonna wait until you get to 10 people and then kick myself out so you can take over the session.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, see, it jumped up to 8 people. So
Others, how are you?
yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. Excited to be here. Thanks for amazing things. This is really great.
I'm glad to hear it. And I hear you're doing pretty well in
Oh,
terms of your business.
I am extremely humbled. And for me, the amazing thing started, it's been a process. It's been a process to grow and do amazing things. But most importantly, I think the awit award was also part of the journey, and it changed things.
Well, I'm glad to hear it because that's why I put these things on so that, I can help, young women and girls such as yourself. So I'm very proud to say, needlessly, that, I'm happy that you're doing well and you get to share your story with so many people. So now there's more than 10 people in the room. So I am going to take myself out of your session so that this way you can talk to the people directly. And then, if you have any questions, just know that, the team is here. Just shoot us a chat question. And don't forget to look at the chat so that you can answer some of the audience questions as well.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Okay, so have a wonderful session and I'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
All right.
Hello, people. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you can all hear me. Don't mind the background. It's just interesting things. My name is Viola Amunpire, and very excited to be here. I'm the founder and CEO of WenaHardware.com, and Wena is an end-to-end home construction and home improvement store that is accessed on your mobile phone, so you can get any of the products. We have amazing products that I will talk about later. So interestingly, for me, e-commerce is tonight I'm discussing entrepreneurship through e-commerce, and e-commerce in Africa is is and was something that was not greatly appreciated, something that was not part of what most people thought would be an option to most of their services. So after COVID, I believe over 70% of most people have gotten to appreciate that e-commerce is the future. And most people have actually resorted to having e-commerce options as their saviors and as the options that they had to consume most of their services. So in the construction industry specifically, e-commerce was not something that most players in the industry thought would be an option. So tonight I'm going to share my experience as a player of an e-commerce business, as a player of a business in Africa and in East Africa specifically. Currently, Wena is operational in Uganda, and we just started operations in Kenya. So I am proud to say that I am running a multinational. Oh my God, that sounds so heavy, but you have no idea how it excites and keeps me awake every single night. So, what is entrepreneurship and how do I perceive it? Personally, um, entrepreneurship goes back to what innovative thing are you doing? What is it that you're doing differently, and how are you solving people's problems or your personal problems? So for me, that's what I interpret entrepreneurship as, but also involving the profitability. So are you making money? Are you employing someone? All that for me is what I perceive as entrepreneurship. And when it comes to the other bit of e-commerce, is what you're doing, is that innovation enabled with technology, or is it on a digital platform? So entrepreneurship goes back to entrepreneurship through e-commerce specifically, goes back to how do people relate with whatever it is that you're doing, and how are people perceiving what you're doing. Is it something that is actually convenient for them to pass to appreciate, or is it something that you're doing but you appreciate it more than the people you intend to reach out to? So Wena is currently a web shop, and I will explain why in trying to bring relevancy, and also trying to solve people's problems. So personally, when we started out in 2017, most people were into applications, and most people advised me that I should actually start out with a mobile application. Something that I thought about, and actually got people that were to work on a mobile application. But then when I realized, when I interacted with people who were actually buying from me, there was not that much need of a mobile application. So with limited resources at that time, I did not think of investing in a mobile application when my target customers did not actually see an immediate need of a mobile application. So what that meant was me to redirect my resources available at that time to things that mattered most, such as branding, such as improving the system, because most of the e-commerce solutions are about convenience, and convenience comes with the usability of the platform. How user friendly is it to the people you're reaching out to? So for me, my resources were more geared to getting a seamless system, to getting people appreciate what services we are doing without them having hanging systems, without their data being compromised, without very few options that maybe they can work with. So we geared most of our resources into improving the system, because the system meant that people can shop faster, people can shop with so many options in terms of payment. And when it came to, for example, when it came to payment options, we have mobile money, we have Visa card, and we also have cash on delivery. I'm still talking about the people that you're actually trying to serve, and the what everyone else thinks should be the ideal norm. So when we started out with those, with understanding the areas on where to spend our resources, then we limited on what other people were talking about, on what the ideals should be. Then we moved away from that. Was between 2017 2018. We were doing more of improving the system as a web shop. As a web shop, there is so much that you can fall prey of if you do not have a stable system. And that's why we focused more on that, as opposed to now leaving the web shop to starting out an application. So 2018, 2019, it was more of marketing that we focused on, and our marketing was not, so I want to call it unconventional marketing. I didn't mention I'm a professional marketer from Chartered Institute of Marketing, and okay, this is going to be very interesting. So people, please, let's have a discussion. In case of anything that I start on and leave off, please remind me, or you can ask follow-up questions in the chat session. So yes, I'm a professional marketer from Chartered Institute of Marketing. And when I mentioned on why we chose unconventional means of marketing to market our online shop, because I had practiced marketing. I had had personal clients who needed to do digital marketing. So I knew what everyone was doing and what most people perceived was the right thing that should be done. And somehow I had seen results of most of the campaigns. Some campaigns did not work out as people intended to, let me just say they did not get very successful as most people thought. So my opinion on having unconventional means, which I don't know if I should discuss now, but maybe I could share, was that there should be a way of understanding that people, yes, have an appreciation of e-commerce, but most people do not think construction solutions can be accessed conveniently through an e-commerce through e-commerce. So my approach was, one, let people appreciate that you're doing something. Two, let them appreciate that they there is a better way they can consume the services they have always consumed. Three, let them have a distinctive appreciation in how much they have been saving and in how much they've been using and how much they are actually saving when they use your platform as an e-commerce solution. So for me, that was the approach of the of the marketing that we did when we were trying to get people to use whenhardware.com. And that was our second intentional item that we had to put our resources to. Fast forward 2020. Did I mention I'm an award winner of African Women in Tech in Uganda? I think I did not mention that. Yes, so in 2020 that came through, and I was very excited when I won that award. But then I moved to Kenya. Kenya for me has been a market where which I perceive as very aggressive. I don't know the reality, but I'm yet to know. We've been in Kenya for now 4 months. And when I moved to Kenya, my decision to have when I opened shop in Kenya was to challenge myself because I don't want to build just a Ugandan product, just a product where myself and my relatives are buying from. I might never get to know the truth. So I moved to Kenya to have an honest opinion and to also understand if actually the African e-commerce is that wanted or appreciated, or if it is something that we are jumping onto as because the rest of the world out there thinks this is the future. So that has been trying to explain resource allocation in entrepreneurship with e-commerce and how we did. I'm going to share most of my experience on how we moved and how we've been allocating our resources, and somehow I hope I explain as to why we've been doing that. So it's been a gradual growth on how we allocate resources, what we take on, and so far so far now the focus, I don't want to talk about COVID because it's like obvious. Most businesses have been affected. So even our resource allocation has sort of not gone as we thought, but we are fine so far. We are operating Kenya and Uganda. So interestingly, the thing about having had an e-commerce shop in an industry where originally or ordinarily most people do not think or perceive it as convenient, meant that we get to understand what their needs are. So entrepreneurship, as we mentioned, is something that should be geared towards solving people's problems. But people did not think that they should buy cement, they should buy iron bars or whatever building materials they needed online. they were used to moving to the next hardware shop, bargain, or do whatever activity they have to do, and then buy materials for their construction sites. So we understood that process. We understood what their needs are and what they were used to, and had it migrate onto the online platform so that they do that with their mobile phones, with their laptop, without them moving from wherever they are to actually move to the next hardware store and then consume the services. So understanding what market you intend to serve, I think, is also very, very important, without diverting a lot from what the industry is already used to what you think you as an innovator, or you as a business owner, to what you think people should be doing. So we we understood the practice that was already existing in the industry, and just had it, or just added a digital element to it. So that's what makes when a traditional hardware store, but also an e-commerce hardware store. We do not have a physical shop, as some people think, and that's what has also helped us to scale, because if you have a certain hardware store set up in one given location, then you're not able to scale as fast and as much as we've been able to do in the past 4 years. So 3 years. So it's there are so many advantages of having of being an entrepreneur in a digital space. So of being an innovator or running an e-commerce shop, and I hope I will be consistent with this one. So first, you're able to scale. I'm even whispering this. You're able to scale faster when you're running an e-commerce business, because it is, in my opinion, it is easier and faster to scale an e-commerce business as opposed to scaling a brick and mortar business, or a business that has a physical presence. So we were able to, as I've given the background of Wena, we were able to have a shop in Uganda, and in very soon we also intend to be in other African countries, and we are currently in Kenya. If we are to set up physical shops, I would need much money than what we are currently working with. I would need more resources in terms of land, employees, time, and all the other resources that are needed to run a physical shop. Secondly, it gives you variety. You as a business owner, gives you variety of the things, of product lines that you can deal in. But it also gives the people you're reaching out to, or the users or the clients, options on what they can consume. So you find that you're targeting more people who are in that same industry. If you want to be industry specific, it gives you more options that you can work with, as opposed to a physical shop. So, for example, there are so many people who are currently running maybe decor companies or shops. There are people who are dealing only in cement. There are people who are dealing only in bricks, and people who are dealing in specific product lines. Whereas I, as an e-commerce owner, I have them as my categories. So I have one big shop, and their products are just categories on my shop. So it's it's that beautiful that running an e-commerce shop gives you so many things that you can work with, gives you such it's such a space where you're late to experiment, late to innovate, and you don't have much loss, which should be the third advantage. So the loss and the risk with running an e-commerce business is limited compared to running a physical brick and mortar shop. And it's limited in so many ways. But for example, if you had a team of employees who are not loyal, it means that they could even be stealing from you, or they could be stealing from your buyers, or they could the stock keeping measures that you have to put in place for you to run a business with all those safety checks is has to be very intense compared to running an e-commerce shop where you're putting up a system and you're making sure that the client the client's money is safe, and you're also protecting your reputation. That, for example, the other risk could be about theft, break-ins. If you have a physical shop, the 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 higher risk it is for you to be exposed to theft. Let me put it like that. Whereas with an e-commerce shop, yes, we have scammers, we have people who are fraudulent, people who might hack, but it's not as bad, or it's not as intense as if somebody as people who might probably break into a shop. So that's why I say it is less risky for you to run an e-commerce shop compared to running a brick and mortar business. When it comes to people generally people resources, if I may put it, it is it is easier and it is much cheaper to have teams that are running multiple shops, that are running big shops, because if you're to value the stock that you're selling online versus the people or the teams that you're employing, it there is it is more advantageous compared to someone else who has to run a brick and mortar shop. So that was like a sort of a comparison between running an e-commerce shop and running a brick and mortar business. And when we had look at the disadvantages of running an e-commerce shop, wow, now this is the reality talk. It is um I'm seeing the questions coming in, and after this, I'll take questions, and then we can go back to what I had in my head, because I won't say I had them written down. So, for example, the disadvantages. Oh my God, I had already talked about scammers and fraud, but the beauty is there are known checks to go against that, but the fraud and the risk that people's data, you have to protect people's data, you have to be very cautious on who is buying from you and what they are buying. The cash on delivery option as a checkout or payment option has to really be very managed, so that you don't have very many people who are coming and buying products but when they cannot actually pay. So, for example, if so, the measures that we are taking as winner, one is to have an SSL, that's a certificate that enables people's data be protected. In case you're buying with a card, or paying, in case you're paying using any of your bank accounts or card or mobile money. That we also have people who are very technical enough, so they know how to make sure that the system is secure enough, and people's people's data is protected. I'm talking more about people's data because there isn't anything else they can steal from us. They can only steal data, they can only compromise data, and that is the biggest concern that we have. If somebody steals data, which includes someone's card details, it means that they can do anything with their card. They could maybe use the card to shop, and that they've stolen their money. They could use their details maybe to compromise their personal security. So that's why protection of disadvantage in an e-commerce shop. The other disadvantage could be about perception. In Uganda currently, where I am currently, but where also Wena's biggest activities are, is not a market that has greatly appreciated e-commerce yet. So you find that you might, if you start out, you're going to struggle. You're going to take longer for people to appreciate your services, as opposed to somebody who has set up a brick and mortar hardware store somewhere next to an upcoming site, or whatever other web store that someone might set up. It could be in a different industry. Maybe you're selling clothes, maybe you're selling jewelry, or whatever it is. Uh, Other disadvantages of running e-commerce, I can think, not so many, but the ones that really exist are so intense that one has to be very deliberate and intentional on protecting their reputation, their customers, and themselves. Okay, so I'm now going to attend to the inquiries and the conversation. Yes, so the people that checked in, thank you so much, Jay, Annie, and Laura says, okay, so Laura is saying if you have questions, feel free to post them here. And Jackie says, very impressive. Well done. Oh, thank you so much. I'm humbled and grateful. Misha says, how do you deal with customers who potentially may not have access to online stores? So actually, I think over over 65% of Ugandans have feature phones. Phones where you just make a call or send an SMS, and it's not really a smartphone. So those clients currently can call us, call in and order for items. They know the brands. So for example, I don't know where Misha is from. I wanted to pick out a brand name of cement or paint. So if people have been in construction, they know the brands of the items they want. And that means they just call us and tell us, oh, I want these many maybe bags of cement. They specify the cement and where they want the items delivered to, and then we receive their order and are able to get their items delivered. However, it's been debatable if that is perceived as e-commerce or not. In my opinion, that is e-commerce because somebody is using a digital way of reaching out to us. A mobile phone is a digital channel, so I still call that e-commerce. Otherwise, someone would just say, oh, come to our shop and pick these things. But the fact that we are eliminating the back and forth and we can get the items delivered to them, then for me that is e-commerce, and that is how convenient the person is getting their items, as opposed to them moving from where they are to a physical hardware shop. Sharon says, I'm glad you've talked about data security because this is a major asset for digital stores and should be protected at all costs. Yes, we are very intentional, and because of our intention to move to other African countries and other countries, it's something that could not take lightly. So that's why we had to purposely invest in it. I did not mention Wena is a South African word, a Zulu word. It's not a name. It's just a word that means you, and it's kind of slang. It's not a proper word, I think. So Wena hardware means your hardware, like that hardware you should always reach out to for your items. So it's a casual and friendly way to just put it out that in case of any solutions that you need from e-commerce, just think about us. So I'll go to the next questions here. Misha from Zimbabwe. Oh, we hopefully will be in Zimbabwe very soon. I talked about the security. So Kezia asks, are you utilizing other online tools like Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp for your business? If so, have these worked for you? So yes, those are mainly our online channels of engaging with clients, taking their orders, taking on inquiries, but also I do a live stream. I interact a lot with industry players. So I host Facebook Live to interact with people, to engage with different professionals in the industry, but to also educate what other people may not be aware of, and just to engage everyone and anybody about construction as an industry. And in that way, I know I would be making money if somebody picked interest and they would get back to us and buy from us. So you can check out our pages, Wena Hardware, on all platforms. Would you integrate mobile money systems? Yes, so mobile money is a payment option. If someone can pay using mobile money and MasterCard or Visa card. I hope that is what the question was. So yes, we have it integrated and we use Flutterwave. They should pay me for this. We use Flutterwave as an integrator. But if anyone else has something else they can recommend, we shall be very glad. Currently, that's what we are using. And another question here says your business is an e-business, so it is definitely e-commerce. Yes, it is. Thank you. So we have 7 minutes to go. I hope that has been helpful and discussion. I will use these 5 minutes to talk about what African Women in Technology has done for me, and what and and appreciate the fact. So as I mentioned before, that we are the winners of African Women. Okay, yes, so yeah, so Wena is WENA, Wena Hardware. I'll just send it through here. So it is Wena Hardware and wenahardware.com. I've just sent that. So yes, I'm talking about a week. So in early this year, we participated in a competition organized by African Women in Technology, and I was presenting on behalf of winner, where I emerged the winner. So I became the African woman, okay, African women in technology 2020 winner. After that, I used the money that I won, which I will not mention, but I used that money to go to Kenya, start out, map out what places, just to understand the Kenyan business environment. I know Awit is not aware of this, but personally, that's what I used the money for. And I am glad that they have so many programs. They were able to educate us before the day. It was a whole week's conference and a whole week's learning experience, which was very great. It sounds like a normal, a normal thing that would be done by anybody. But no, for me, it was something that taught me that if women came together and learned from each other, and also purpose to be supported and have other people or supporting them, then women can do great things. So thanks to Awit, thanks for that time, thanks for amazing trainers that you gave access to us free of charge. I did not pay any money. I interacted with so many people, networked, made so many important contacts that I still reach out to even now. And I am really, really grateful. And yeah, so we also featured on BBC after that, and it's been an amazing journey for me. And I'm glad you were part of the story and you also contributed. It's 5 minutes to my time up, and I am really, really excited. Thank you, people. So you can reach out to my personal handles as well. And yes, Laura has actually put the link for the web shop. And thank you. I hope that's it for now. Bye bye. Oh, I see Jackie saying something here. I had already signed out. So proud of you and the waves that you've been making. Oh, I am really, really grateful and humbled. I have an amazing team also. I can't just be doing this alone. And they are really, really amazing. Thank you, people. Have a great day. And thanks, Awit, for this beautiful, beautiful e-conference. It's amazing. Bye.